Hello everybody, Bangkok Ian here. In this video I'm going to be talking about the pros and cons of the Samsung Gear VR, the Oculus Rift and the HTC Vive. I've had all three systems for quite a while now. Got the Gear VR in February, got the Oculus Rift in mid-April, and then I got the HTC Vive end of April. So I've had a fair amount of time with all three systems, and I'm going to be giving my thoughts on all three systems. I'm going to give you the pros and the cons. I'm going to show you my games library for each of the systems, and at the end I'll give you my personal winner. But bear in mind, these are just my opinions. There is no perfect VR system. Each system's got its own distinct advantages and disadvantages. Okay, right, first let's start with the Gear VR, which is the first VR system I bought. I got it in February, and here it is. I got it on the advice. I mean, I had not much interest in VR until Alan Stewart, the main Meister. He got a Gear VR and he raved about it. And Alan and me have got pretty similar tastes. We're the same age, and we grew up with pretty much the exact same systems, and I value his advice. If he likes a game, I'm guaranteed to like it as well, and I think vice versa as well. Anyway, this is the first VR system I got, Gear VR. Again, made by Oculus, and it works with the S6, S6 Edge, the Note 6, and the S7 lines. And you just slot your phone into the Gear VR, and this has got a small accelerometer to help reduce the processing from here, and it's nice. It's a nice little system. If you want to try VR but you're not sure, you don't want to spend all the money, don't spend hundreds of quid on an Oculus or a HTC Vive. And if you're looking for getting a new phone, I mean, I think the Samsung phones have eclipsed the iPhones now in features. I mean, this is my first Samsung phone in years. I had an iPhone 5, iPhone 6, but then I exchanged the iPhone 6 to get my Note 5, and I love my Note 5. I'll never ever go back to iOS, especially for my business. This is the best business phone I've ever had, with a stylus for note taking, but that's me going off the topic. Anyway, as I said, basically it's just lenses, the control pad, and an accelerometer and a button here. And yeah, it's only what, less than 100 quid. It's cheap and cheerful, and I'd recommend this if you're unsure about VR and just want to see what it's like. I'll maybe try it in a shop or something like that. If you've got a friend who's got one, try it from them. And the games are okay. And advantages, it's cheap. That's the main advantage, to be honest. And it's well supported. I mean, every week there's games that come out on the Oculus Store. There's at least two or three games a week coming out, and also there's various apps on the Google Play Store. One called Sideload VR, and that's a great app to get if you have one of these, because it's got versions of Quake, Doom, and every week it gets updated with all these completely free apps. And the version of Quake and the version of Doom, the Quake version is brilliant. It plays all the maps, just load them onto your phone. It's great. It's a really good game, Quake. And yeah, it's cheap. Another advantage of it is that you don't have to wear, if you're short-sighted like I am, I can wear this fine without my glasses, which I can't say for the other two systems I have. So that was a big plus point for me, not having to wear glasses when I'm playing it, because I'm really squeamish about my eyes. I can't wear contacts. No way. So yeah, there's that, and you can use this dial here, adjust your focusing, so pretty much anybody will be able to see it without using any glasses. It's very handy. And let's see, disadvantages. It's hard to use for more than 15-20 minutes. Especially the simpler games, yeah, you can probably get maybe an hour. The battery life using VR, you're lucky to get more than 90 minutes. You can, it has got a pass-through cable here. If you put a Samsung charger, yeah, you can charge it while playing, but that's not recommended if you're moving all around. You're gonna tug the cable and cause some damage somewhere, so I don't recommend it. Yeah, and generally, the more graphics intensive the game is, the more CPU power it uses on your phone, the hotter it gets and the more the battery goes. I mean, after 15 minutes of game, you're losing like 10, 15, sometimes 20% of your battery. And there's also an issue with heat. And it's especially if you're a YouTuber and you want to record Gear VR onto your now you can record video directly. You can't do sound, which means it's a pain in the arse. You have to go various workarounds to get sound. But if you're playing a VR game and you're recording it with the Oculus app, it gets very, very hot, and the phone will stop the game or app playing. It'll say, your Gear VR has become too hot, please wait until it cools down. And with other new games, yeah, 15-20 minutes into the game, sorry, you have to stop playing. So there's that. Battery life's and the heat build up. I mean, I believe still on the S7, S7, yeah, you still get battery life and you still get the heat building up all the time. But again, yeah, this really only affects the hardcore users who really love it like me, you know. I mean, most people play for what, 10-15 minutes at a time, and that's it. They just use it for short blast sessions. But I'm so into VR. I mean, I'm really into VR. I often play until it either overheats or the battery dies, you know. So yeah, there is that problem, unfortunately. And another issue I have with the Gear VR, as I said, this is mainly an intro. You know, it's an intro to VR. So a lot of the games are pretty simplistic. Basically, I would say 90% of the games don't need any controller whatsoever. You're just looking around and you're pressing this button, or you're pressing one button on a controller. You're not using any other thumbsticks or anything like that. And that was okay at first, but a lot of the VR games which just use the head tracking and the button, they tend to be a little bit samey. I mean, I far prefer getting games on the Gear VR which make use of the gamepad. This is my gamepad. It's the Steel series, and I can't recommend this gamepad enough. It's fantastic for the Gear VR. But there's still relatively few games that use the gamepad, because when you use a gamepad, the game gets classed as intense, which means people with motion sickness, they can't really play it very much. I mean, I'm really lucky. I'd never ever suffer from motion sickness. But I mean, as a result of that, the more intense the game is, the better the experience is for me. So I mean, the Quake on the Gear VR and the Doom on the Gear VR, those are my two favourite games. Both free, absolutely free, and they'll play any maps on Quake or Doom. But on the actual Oculus Store, the very best games make full use of the gamepad, but there aren't that many. So it's good for introduction, but there's not that many great games. There's lots of demo type where basically all you're doing is just looking around, and it's a great experience. When I first got it, I mean, it was amazing. This is my first taste of VR, and this is what got me hooked. If I hadn't got this, I would never have got the Oculus Rift or the HTC Vive. So yeah, I'm really glad I bought it, but I haven't really used it that much. But that might change because finally Oculus have started cross-buy. Whereas if you buy, no, it's just started now, okay? Only one game currently supports it, that's Anshar Wars 2. And I bought the Anshar Wars on the Gear VR when I first got my Gear VR. And last week, 2 weeks ago maybe, Oculus announced the cross-buy platform, and sure enough, I opened my Oculus store on my PC and Anshar War was listed with no price. It's registered that I got it on my Gear VR, so I just downloaded it for free, and I hope that gets more and more common. So that's a good thing, you know. So if that becomes more common, yeah, that'll be a boom for me, because I'll start playing more on my Gear VR, because I'll buy it once on the Oculus, and I'll also have a copy for portable play. Anyway, now I'm going to take you through my library, and then after that I'll be back with my opinions on the Oculus Rift. Okay, right, here is my Gear VR library. One good thing about Oculus is that you just have one username. So I share my user credentials between my Gear VR and my Oculus Rift. And as I said, they've just started with the cross-buy, which is very convenient for me because hopefully it'll get more and more common. And so if I buy a game on one, say on the Gear or the Oculus, and the game gets ported to the other system, I should have it for free. At least that's the theory. Anyway, let me just take you through some of my games. Here are all my Gear VR games, and you can, there we go, that's okay. A lot of these were free, and I'm going to point you out some of my favorite games on the Gear VR. Minecraft is amazing, and it makes full use of the gamepad, and that's highly recommended. Also, N-Space, highly recommended. I did a video of this game, and it's an amazing space simulator stroke action game. Very, very good. Jump is, I did a video of this as well. This is like a first-person Mirror's Edge type game, like a platforming game. Very good. Sisters, that's a free game. Very scary indeed. That's good. Bait's really good. It's a fishing game. Again, uses the gamepad. Mainly uses the view of your headset. But it's the only fishing game on the Gear VR. Also, I've not seen one on the Vive or the Rift as well. But this is very good. But it does have in-app purchases, so beware. Finding VR is another good game as well. Trivia is excellent. That's a multiplayer trivia game. You play with up to 3 other people, and it's good fun. That's a good online game, like an arena battle game. Again, uses the gamepad. You'll see, like a method here. Everything that's got a gamepad, I really like. That's okay. It's a strategy game. Vanguard, that was a good little demo. I'm hoping to when this comes out full, I'll get that. Sheriff, not very good. Nah. Bomb Squad, it's okay. Okay, multiplayer. It's a bit like Gladiators. I'll just Hidden Temple. That uses the gamepad. It's based on the iOS, but it's 3D, first person, very good. Goosebumps, that's pretty scary. What is it? That's quite a good social networking site where you can speak to other people all around the world. Escape Velocity, that's okay. That's quite a good game as well. That's like a puzzle game, first person puzzle game. These are okay, nothing special. Into the Dead's good. That's the mobile game, and it uses the gamepad, and there's no in-app purchases. And yeah, that's a good game. This is a good game as well. Also uses it's a turret game, but you got several different types of turrets, and you can teleport to your different turrets on the beach. And good game. Protocol Zero is good as well. Again, you can see it uses the gamepad. Use the gamepad in this one as well, in Salvo. Esper, you can use the gamepad on that. It's a bit like a Portal type puzzle game. I'm hoping this becomes cross-platform too, because I don't know, it's currently on sale and I'm tempted to buy it, but I have a feeling it might become a cross-buy game. Knowing my luck, I'll buy it and then next week it's just going to become cross-buy and I'll have wasted, it's on sale for $7 now. Titans of Space is good. I just got Titans of Space 2. Incel is a great little racing game, but usually the controller. But this, if you're suffer from motion sickness, beware. Hero Bound, I have this twice. Bought it first on the Gear VR, and I have it on the Rift as well. It's a fantastic Zelda type game, really good, and it's quite long as well. Vectron Revenge, that's quite good. It's an arcade game. It doesn't use the gamepad, but it's still very good. These are very similar. It's just use your headset to move around. Yeah, these are all social sites. That's an audio game. This is a really good game. Again, I bought this. It was on sale for the Rift. So I've got it on the Gear VR and I've got this one on the Rift as well. It's very, very good. But again, if you suffer from motion sickness, buyer beware. What else comes to light? This is quite a good tower defense type game. This is like a Star Trek, a funny version of a Star Trek stroke roguelike game. Dead Secret's good. It's the actual Gear VR version is better than the Oculus Rift one because you really need to look around in 360 degrees, and I believe it's better on the Gear VR than on the Rift. And what else? Star Chart's okay. It's educational. Again, you just look up and you see all the different constellations based on where you are. Again, this is another one I've got for the Gear VR and also for the Rift as well. It's like a Mario Kart game. It's really good fun. And again, it's a controller game, rated intense. Also, Dreadholes. It's another one I've got on the Gear VR and on the Oculus Rift. This is excellent. It's extremely scary. It's a procedurally generated horror game where the sound is just as frightening as the visuals, and it's very good. And the last one I would mention is Ocean Rift. This is also gamepad compatible, and this is probably the best app to demo to your friends the true potential of VR, especially the one with the great white shark. When you're in a shark cage and wonder what's going on, and then this huge great white shark starts circling and starts attacking the cage, and there's lots of other ocean scenes. There's whales, dolphins, sea snakes, and there's one great big dinosaur. I think it's the one that was in Jurassic World. Highly recommended. So if you are thinking of getting the Gear VR, definitely get Ocean Rift, and if you can handle it, Dreadholes, VR Carts, Omega Agent, Hero Bound, and just choosing the very best ones now, and End Space and Minecraft. They're the AAA titles for the Gear VR. Okay, that's all for the Gear VR, and now I'm going to talk about the Oculus Rift. Okay, now it's time to talk about the Oculus Rift. This is the second VR system I got, and as I mentioned before, I would never have got it if I hadn't got the Gear VR and was absolutely gobsmacked with what VR could do and the potential. But there's a huge difference between the Gear VR and the other systems. I mean, it's priced that way for, the Gear VR is cheap for a reason, you know. I mean, this, if you are serious about VR, if you really like it on the Gear VR, and if you like VR and you want to take it a bit further, there's the Oculus Rift and the HTC Vive, and this is the Oculus Rift. It comes with a headset, comes with an Xbox One wireless controller, comes with this remote, which I've never ever used. This is for just navigating the Oculus menu and for very, very simple games, but that's just not my style. As I mentioned about the Gear VR, all the ones that just use the head tracking, nah, they're not for me. I prefer the proper games, you know, so I've never turned this on once. So I suppose some people might use it, but not me. And to get your position, it uses this. You put this on your desk and you're wearing it, so you can tell when you lean in or lean out, your view will lean in or like zoom in or zoom out. So this tracks your position. It's got a sensor. The Oculus Rift has got an infrared sensor at the front and an infrared sensor at the back. So if you're turning your head and moving it forwards, that is reflected in the game. So for example, if you're standing in a VR game and you're on the edge of a building, you can move down and instead of just looking 360, the view will zoom in or zoom out, and that makes a lot of difference. That's something the Gear VR can't do. It's got no positional tracking whatsoever. All the Gear VR is just 360 degrees. But the Rift and the Vive take things one step further by using positional devices. Uses a stand for the Rift, and the Vive uses something else, and I'll be showing you that when I get to the Vive section. The headset itself is incredibly light. It's a lot lighter than the Vive's headset, and it's a lot more comfortable to wear if you don't wear glasses. Now this is the big bugbear for the Rift for me, because I didn't know that I'd have to be using glasses. I thought it'd be like the Gear VR, where if you're short-sighted it doesn't make any difference. I thought I could just pop it on and away you go. But no, the focal length is the opposite. It's designed for long-sighted. So you have to wear, if you're short-sighted, you have to wear glasses. And the problem is, these were the glasses I had, and the glasses won't fit, because I'm used to get wide frame glasses. I'm used to them. So I got my Gear VR, couldn't bloody use it, because without glasses everything was all fuzzy. I couldn't see anything. So I had to go out and buy some far, as you can see, these glasses are thinner, and these can fit inside without banging on the sides. So you have to wear glasses with both. If you're short-sighted, you have to wear glasses with the Rift and the Vive. There's no, there will be soon, there'll be various adapters you can get, and you can adjust it to your prescriptions, but right now there ain't. So you have to wear glasses inside it, and I am very, very squeamish when it comes to my eyes. The thought of contact lenses, nowhere, no, I couldn't do it. And I'm not going to have bloody LASIK surgery just to play on VR, no way, you know. So yeah, it's a lovely headset. It's nice and light. It fits a lot better than the Vive. If you don't wear glasses, it's brilliant. It's so light, you can wear it for hours and hours and hours. Unfortunately for me, when I am wearing my glasses, I'm okay for maybe an hour, hour and a half, but after about 90 minutes, because it's a bit tight, even with these are the smallest frame I could get, the sides start pressing into my temple. It's okay for about 90 minutes, but then it gets a bit too much. I start itching all the time, so I have to take it off, which is a pain in the arse. I mean, even you can adjust this focal length, but it still doesn't do anything for me. Even at the high and low, no, yes, I still have to wear glasses to play on the Rift. And the Rift, it's got a much deeper groove here than the Vive, which gives you some breathing room here on your nose, which reduces the VR face that you will get if you have a proper, the Gear VR's got it, this to a far less degree, and the Vive has it. After you've been wearing your headset for maybe half an hour, you take it off, you've got a nice red ring all around here. But because there's an air gap here, it circulates air through the mask, and I've noticed that I get a much less red face with the Rift than I do with the Vive. And also the Oculus Rift has got built-in headphones, which is excellent. These are really good headphones as well. I've never needed to use my professional, my gaming headset on this, never, because they don't look it, but these are really high audio quality. And there's also a microphone, which is okay. Yeah, I use it to all my recording, so it's pretty good, yeah. And it's adjustable. You have a little bit of play here because this is firm here. It's got a Velcro strap here, so you just have to adjust it once, and to take it off, because it stretches here, it's very easy to take on and take off. You don't have to adjust this every time, which is a pretty nice advantage. And I think the construction is better than the Vive, but the glasses thing, if you wear glasses, beware. I mean, as I said, I can't wear contacts, so it's great. I think the picture quality is slightly better as well on the Oculus than the Vive, because I've got several games that are Oculus and Rift compatible, and it's probably a personal taste, but I think the games look better on the Oculus than they do on the Vive. But again, that's just my personal opinion. I love it, but the glasses thing gets me. And there's another reason why, another bad point of the Vive, which I'm going to go through as I go through my Oculus library, which I'm going to do next. Okay, now for the Oculus games. Okay, this is the Oculus application that you install on your computer, and it's got your friends list and details. I click here. You can't find it. I'm using, these are all my friends. Okay, clear all. And this is the Oculus Store, and this is a disadvantage compared to the Vive in that you have to use the Oculus Store. Oculus have got some exclusive apps, and they're only available on the Oculus Store, and they're a bit expensive. So I mean, I won't have the prices, but I mean they're like $40, you know. Unfortunately, I bought them, so it doesn't show the price anymore. As you can see, there's currently a summer sale going on, And you see there's a few goodbyes. You can see all my cross buys here. There's dread halls. Is it? There we go. Yeah. Anyway, as I said, let's go to my library. These are all the games I have for the Oculus, and I'll quickly go through the best ones. I got that last night. I haven't played it yet. It looks really good. I'll probably do a video of that later. You got Edge of Nowhere. That's probably one of my favourite ones. It's by Insomniac, who are doing the new Spider-Man, and they did Ratchet and Clank. It's a horror game, and very Resident Evil-ish. Very, very good game. Eve Valkyrie, I don't like. I thought that was going to be the killer app, but I don't know. This microtransactions. It's got a very limited single player. It's mainly multiplayer, and there are very few people in Thailand who have a Rift. So when I try to go online, I'm playing people in the States, and the lag just kills it. So I'm limited to just the very basic single player campaign or playing with bots. And it's great graphics, and I thought it was going to be the killer app, but not for me. It's not. Anshar Wars, that's Anshar Wars 2, sorry. This is that cross-buy game I was talking about, and it's even better on the Rift. I mean, that's one thing to note. All the games that are also on the Gear VR, that are also on the Rift, the graphics are far, far better. I mean, an important thing to consider when you're getting the Rift and the Vive is that if you do get sick with the Gear VR, it might be alleviated if you try games on the Rift and the Vive, because the games on the Rift and the Vive are running at 90 frames a second, whereas the ones on the Gear VR, they're nowhere near that. What, 40, 50? No, certainly no more than 60. And I think this might be a disadvantage for the upcoming PlayStation 4 VR. I can't see that many games reaching the 90 FPS, because you need a hugely powerful graphics card to get 90 FPS, you know? Because don't forget that 90 FPS is in both of the lenses, so it's 180 FPS, you know, divided by 2 for each of the screens, you know. So you need an extremely powerful graphics card. I have a 980 Ti. I think the minimum recommended spec is a 970, but even the 970 struggles. And so I would recommend the 980 Ti, or if you're just going out now, I would get the 1070 or the 1080. I'm not going to get one of those because I only got my 980 Ti a year ago, so I'm going to stick with my 980 Ti until the next Nvidia card comes out. Anyway, where was I? As you can see, I've got VR carts. I've got that on the Gear. I've got Omega Agents again. Again, they're far better on the Rift. They were great on the Gear, but they're fantastic on the Rift. This is one of the very best games, Lucky's Tale. It's a free game when you buy your Rift. It's the Rift's Mario 64, basically. It takes platforming games to a whole new level. It's amazingly good. Blaze Rush, that's like a Micro Machines racer. That's really good. Ethan Carter, excellent, but again, rated extremely intense because you're using the gamepad to move, and you're using the headset also to look around. And Project Cars as well is fantastic in VR, but it's another extremely intense game that a lot of people can't use. And I said, yeah, this is that Zelda game I was talking about. Really good. This is a bit Zelda-ish as well, but it's very short. I finished it in less than an hour. That's okay. Climb's good, but you can play it with the gamepad, but it got released early. This should be a touch game, you know. but the touch controllers aren't out yet. Defense Grid 2, that's a tower defense game, and that's a action strategy game. That's really good. I've done quite a few videos for quite a few of these games on my channel. Chronos is excellent. It's like a Dark Souls Zelda-ish game. Please don't. This is overrated. Didn't really like that. Subnautica is fantastic. It's intense, but fantastic. I keep meaning to do a video of this because the graphics and the gameplay on this is amazing. And again, Dreadhalls, that's that horror game I was talking about earlier. Fantastic. Crystal Rift, that's a Dungeon Master game. Really good. I've got a video of that. Farlands, yeah, it's alright, nothing special. Tennis, yeah, that's okay. Pinball is great. There's nothing like playing pinball in VR. It's amazing. And what else? Firma, I can't remember. Have I done a video? I'll have to see. This is a good game as well. A bit like a Lunar Lander type thing. But yeah, these are my Oculus Rift games. And you have to... quite a few of these have since come out on Steam. And I've learnt now, if it's on Steam, get it on Steam. Because it's often a lot cheaper. And I'll go into that when I talk about the HTC Vive. But yeah, this is my Oculus Rift library, and you click here and it can tell you if you have any updates, but you can't arrange. It's not like Steam. There's no messaging system in it, there's no matchmaking system in it. You know, it's very limited compared to Steam, you know. And you know, the fact that it's a closed platform, they've just removed the DRM check, which caused an uproar because it locked all the people who had a Vive and they're using Revive to play all these exclusive games. It locked them out of the game, which is a stupid thing to do because VR is still in its infancy. So every manufacturer should be pushing VR. They should not be restricting access, you know. But Oculus came to their senses and they've removed the DRM check in the latest update, which hit around a week ago. So yeah, any HTC Vive, you just download Revive and you can purchase the games on the store and play them using Revive. The exclusive games are Edge of Nowhere, well, sorry, the best games to have: Edge of Nowhere, Lucky's Tale, Chronos, and Subnautica. But Subnautica is on Steam, so it's basically Edge of Nowhere, Lucky's Tale, and Chronos. Those are the three must-buys for the Rift. Now I'm going to talk about the HTC Vive. Okay, and finally we have the HTC Vive. This is my newest VR system. I got this around 2-3 weeks after I got the Oculus Rift, because moment in a sense. Once I got the Rift, I mean, that's it. I just and there were some games that you couldn't get on the Rift that you only get on the Vive, and that's it. So I bugger it, ordered it, and this is my favourite VR system. This is the one for me. It's not perfect, but the thing is, first thing, it's glasses friendly. As you can see, the glasses go in easily, and when I'm wearing the headset, I don't get because this is bigger, it doesn't rub the side of my temple, so I don't feel any pressure, so no pain at all when I'm using the headset. So for me personally, that's a huge plus, because it doesn't hurt me, you know. So I mean, yeah, if you don't wear glasses, the Rift might be for you, but I hope in the next revision of the Oculus Rift it's that bit wider, you know, or just so you can get your bloody glasses in, you know, without being squeezed. Because what silly thing to do. How many people wear glasses, you know? Surely someone at Oculus must have realised this, you know? But yeah, I can wear this without glasses and it's great. However, it doesn't have doesn't come with some headphones. You have a headset which you plug in here. But this is a disadvantage for me in Thailand because nothing is earthed in Thailand. And if I touch this metal bit here, I get an electric shock because there's no earth here. So if I was to touch that, so I have to have this out of the way. And if I'm playing for a long time and this drags its way down, touches me on the neck, I get an electric shock. And there's nothing I can do about that because there is no earth. It's live or neutral, that's it. So yeah, that's a bit of a pain, but it's alleviated by just having it up here, you know. And so I have it up here, and I sometimes get a shock when I'm plugging in. I use like small phone. It comes with a small headset, really small one. Not the best quality, but you can use a gaming headset, but you generally don't because this is a lot heavier than the Rift. You really do feel it. And it's also top heavy as well. The Rift headset, apart from the glasses issue, is far better designed because it attaches itself to the back of your head far better. It's got more balance, so it's lighter, and also the Rift just fits on your head really well. And you put the Rift on just like a baseball cap, and you hardly feel like you're wearing it. It's so light. But this is a fair bit heavier, and you do notice it. Not at first, but after an extended session, you definitely feel it, and it's top heavy. You sometimes feel it's about to slip off when you're constantly moving it back all the time. But saying that, because it doesn't, apart from getting the occasional electric shock, I can wear my glasses, and that's the thing. That's a good thing about it. It's got a camera here as well, so I'll talk about room scale later. One more thing, which is a bad design flaw, but it's easily fixed. Right, the microphone is here, but it is an abominably bad microphone. You get constant popping. So what I've done, I've made my own like a condenser thing, anti-pop guard, just by using some that very high bond double-sided tape, which doesn't leave a mark, and just cut up an old sock. I just covered the microphone, and that improved the quality dramatically. So if you're a Vive user and you're using the mic, stick an old bit of sock or cloth over the microphone to stop all that pop, pop, pop when you're speaking. It alleviates 90% of it. After I did this, I noticed the audio quality in my videos was much better. And that's the headset. And these are the controllers you get with it. Now, Oculus can't compete with these yet. Their version of the touch controllers is not out till the second half of next year. And when that comes out, you're also going to need need two. Remember that pole, the infrared positioner here? This thing? You're going to need another one of these as well, I believe. And that's a disadvantage for the Oculus because it's on a stand. Whereas the positioners for the Vive, there's one behind me, behind this camera, and the other one is here. And these, because they're mounted on the wall, they're inobtrusive, and I'll leave them powered on all the time. And these use lasers to track your position. This, where I'm standing here, to where the chair is, this is my room scale area, and it's the maximum allowed area that the Vive currently supports. And let me tell you, it is fantastic. I wasn't convinced about the room scale games because one, I walk with a limp because I had back surgery 15 years ago, and this was my second back surgery. The surgeon in Thailand made a bit of a boo-boo and cut my nerves, so I have limited feeling in my right leg, so I walk with a limp. And the thought of moving around in virtual reality without really seeing, I thought, this is never going to work. I'm going to be falling down. After a week, I'll be in hospital with a broken leg. I thought, no, wouldn't work. And I got my Vive, and yeah, first week or so, I set the room scale up. It's very easy to set up. You just go to the Steam VR app, and you just draw. You just do this. You hold down the controller, and you draw the boundaries of your play area. So I just did this, and you can see it on the screen, the dotted line of the perimeter, and when you join it all up, click, then you put the controllers on the floor so it knows where the floor is, and then it is perfect 3D rendering. It's unbelievable. It works really well. And these controllers are fantastic. They appear in the game, but they don't appear in They don't appear in the game as the controllers. There'll be swords, gloves, hands, anything, and they're perfectly tracked. When you put your headset on, and if these are plugged in, you see them. Wherever they are, you see them, and you can pick them up. You know exactly how far away they are. You don't have to do this on your headset. You can pick them up. It's amazing. The tracking is that good. And you have a trigger here, which of course is trigger for most guns, and you have, this is this gets the Steam overlay up, and this is a conductive pad. Also, it's up, down, left and right, but it's conductive as well, so you can, it's like a trackpad, so you can use it for scrolling, use it for moving around as well. And you have a button here as well, which is usually for menus, and you have a button here which is used for gripping or other uses. And the tracking on these, it makes the Wii U Motion Plus look like a Wii controller. Remember when the Wii first came out, you thought it was fantastic. This is so precise, and then you realise it's actually not that precise. Then Motion Plus came out, and you're thinking, wow, this is great, this is so precise. Well, these make motion control look like crap. I mean, we're talking precise to a couple of millimeters here. I mean, it's amazing. And again, let me talk about room scale. When I first got it, I got lots of games, and I was very, very hesitant. I started playing sitting down, and then there's a few games which work far better standing, like Job Simulator and a few of those games. And yeah, I'm a bit stiff playing it, a bit nervous and everything, but you get used to it. And 2 months after, is it April, May, June? Yeah, I've had Vive for over 2 months now, and room scale, it's not a thing anymore. I put my headset on, and if it's a room scale game, I'll buy it. and I'm not worried about falling over anymore. All you have to do is make sure before you're playing that the area is, there's nothing there. You know, there's no waste paper bin or anything on the floor. As long as the floor is there's nothing on the floor, you're fine. Because there's a setting where if you get close to the perimeter of the room scale, you'll see like a grid, and so you don't bash your head into walls or the desk, and it works really well. Yeah, you have to recalibrate it every couple of weeks, I find, but if you do that, occasionally if I move a bit too fast, I'll hit one of the controllers on the wall, but that's rare. That's very rare. How it tracks the room and how it knows where you are, and if you come within 6 inches of the boundary, you'll see a wireframe. Not in the game, it'll be like an overlay in the game. It doesn't show up in the recording of the game, but it comes up on your visor, so you know where you are, and it's fantastic. So room scale, I thought I would never be using it, but I actually prefer the room scale games because it's just so immersive. And another great thing about the Vive is the fact that it's Steam. And now I'm going to take you through my HTC Vive library, which is all on Steam. So here's my library. Okay, right, here's Steam, and showing my library. Looking at my library list, I have now got 91 VR games and apps on my system. Yeah, 91. Yeah. Let's go to the grid mode. In alphabetical order, you can see all the games. Some of these are Oculus games, but most of them are Vive games. And as you can see, I've gone a bit overboard here. That's Jump. I had that on the Gear VR. Here we go. Yeah, I'm only halfway there. I've still got to do videos on lots of these. Fantastic. Get into the V's. Yeah, I've got far more games for the Vive than I have for the Rift. Now the reason for that, it's because Steam pricing. Steam has got regional pricing, and the prices generally vary between regions. Like the US region is a lot cheaper, especially now, than the UK, with the pound in free fall, especially now. Yeah, there's price differences in each region. You've got your US region, your Europe, UK region, you've got your Australian region, and there's a Thai region. And generally the Thai prices, because the average salary in Thailand is a lot lower than elsewhere, the games are priced accordingly. So the prices are far, far cheaper in Thailand, and that goes for games across the board, be they VR or non-VR. And as a result, you know, most of these games are, you know, 2, 3, 4, 5 quid. There's a couple that are 10 quid, but the maximum price I paid for a game on here is what, 20 quid, and that's the maximum price, I think, you know. So they're far cheaper. And you know, when you're talking about a game that only costs 2 quid, 3 quid, I mean, why not? I mean, it's so cheap, you know. So that's why I've got so many games, because they're so
cheap. Whereas the Oculus Store, it's worldwide prices. The price you pay in Thailand is the price you pay throughout the world, you know, and some of those games are like $50, you know. And whoa, yeah, I've got a couple of $50 games, but I'd much rather have 10 $5 games, you know. So yeah, I've got 91 games for the Vive, and a lot of them I've not played for more than a couple of minutes, but I will, famous last words, because again, with it all being Steam, there's new games coming out every 2 days. You know, it's very rare that more than 2 or 3 days goes by without a new game coming out. I got that one on Friday night. It's crap, but it's early access. I'm an eternal optimist. I'll buy anything in early access and hope. Most of the time, they'll turn out right. So hopefully this will turn out right. It's a burglar simulator. I tried to do a recording, but the game's broken right now. But yeah, I mean, that was a quid. That was a £1.50 or so. That was about £5, something like that. They're so cheap, so you don't mind getting them, you know. So yeah, that's my Steam library. It's huge. So yes, so now I'm going to talk about my final thoughts and wind up the video. Okay, so there you have it. Those are my pros and cons of the Gear VR, Oculus Rift and the HTC Vive. As I said, I prefer the Vive, but it's a personal thing, you know. I prefer the Vive. Firstly, I preferred it because the glasses issue, because after about an hour and 90 minutes or so with the Rift, it really is, it starts to get pretty painful. It's like being pressed in the temples by the ridges of your glasses. So yeah, that was a big thing for me. That's a big no-no for the Vive for me. But the picture quality is better. But again, that could be, it's all subjective, you know. But I like the Vive because it's glasses friendly and room scale. Now I wasn't expecting to like room scale as much as I do. As I said, it takes time. At first you're really scared. The first time I tried a room scale game, you know, I was, you know, one step. I was constantly lifting the headset, thinking this isn't going to work. I'm going to fall down. I'm going to brain myself here. But slowly, the more and more you play it, once you become accustomed to playing in room scale, it's a complete game changer. The way you play your games, it's far more immersive to be actually moving around, like playing on like a space pirate trainer game. I've done a video. I'll have to do a video of that one. You can move around, duck dive. You can like got dual wielding. You can shoot like this behind you, all the while just using the area here instead of just being sat down. I mean, yeah, a lot of games you don't have to. The room scale games can also be played. You don't have to play it in room scale. You can play sat down or stood up, but I find it's better. Like I did a video, Legend of Dungeon. It's a game that I bought maybe a year ago, and there's a VR patch came out, and that's room scale, and you can walk around. It's like a dungeon crawler. You can walk around, you can look in everywhere, and it's great. And yeah, the Vive is the one for me. And another reason why is that I'm a huge Steam owner. I've got more than 1,000 games on Steam. And having everything in the one platform is far more convenient for me. Whereas with the Oculus, you have to go through the Oculus Store, and it's a pain. There is a HTC Vive app, but I never open it.
you don't need to ever open it, because when you click on Steam VR, which is the main OS for the all your HTC Vive software, you can update all your firmware devices, like the firmware for the headset and the controllers. You can update everything through Steam, and having just everything run through Steam is fantastic. And it's nice because you'll often find that a game that you bought a year, 2 years ago will get a patch to enable VR. It's happened twice now. A game called Distance, Legend of Dungeon, Subnautica, and there's another game, the Solus Project, which I've yet to do a video on. And these are games that I bought anyway that I've since had free updates to VR. So that's a win-win as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, I hope this video turns out okay. Sorry about the background noise. I have to have my air conditioning on because it's absolutely boiling. I tried to record a few minutes without the air, but the sweat just started pouring down my face. This is the first time I've made one of these videos with, you know, jumping to the screen and then jumping back to me. I'm not sure how it's going to turn out. I'll probably be like in different positions all the time, but we'll see. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope it's given you some background info to help making the choice of VR, you know, make it a bit better. And I will be getting PlayStation VR as well, because yeah, that looks really good as well, but I can't see it being as good. How can it be as good? Because it's a lot cheaper, but that might make it a lot more, you know, a lot more mass market, a lot more mainstream. So yeah, the games might not be as, they might have not have the same graphical fidelity as the Rift and the Vive, but they'll be good enough. The only problem I've got is that if the PSVR comes out, I hope they announce that if the PS4 Neo is coming out this year, they better announce it before PS4 VR comes out, because PS4 Neo, that's probably going to have the extra box you need for VR built in, because it's got a lot more horsepower, you know. And the main reason for the Neo, the rumors are, is because PlayStation 4 VR, it can't get the 90 FPS that you really need for VR. Some of the games are closer to 60. Again, this is all just based on what I've been reading. It might not be true. They might actually be at 90 frames a second. But this PSVR, I mean, I can't see it running games in 4K. It's not powerful enough for 4K. So I think it's coming out just to make the PlayStation 4 VR games look and run a lot better. But that's just my conjecture. I might be completely wrong about that. But yes, I'll be getting it for sure. I just hope they announce the date of the PS4 Neo. So, I mean, there might be, because I don't want to buy the PS4 VR and then I'll get a Neo and I find out I've got an extra, that processing box isn't needed, you know? So, but we'll see. Anyway, enough of my rambling. I'm not sure how long this video is going to be. It might be quite a long video, but I'm going to do some editing now. And I hope you enjoy watching this. Thanks for watching, and cheers.